Hey YouTube, it's David, the Georgia photographer, and I'm out here today and it's raining and it's just miserable and wet. And I had this big idea about going back to Cloudland Canyon, but I've talked myself out of it. I don't want to lug all my gear out there and then it start raining on it because it's calling for rain all day long today. So with that being known, I'm going to just do something that I've been trying to pull off for a while now. I've been using color focus peaking, and I haven't really explored the prismatic focus, manual focus modes on the Fuji, and today was going to be the day that I did that. So what I have is the Nikkor 105mm f2.5, and I've got it on the manual focus adapter, and that's feeding straight into the camera, no electronics, so the camera doesn't know what the aperture technically is, so I'm having to shoot in pure manual mode. I'm running electronic shutter so that I don't have to worry about shutter vibration. I'm trying to see how sharp I can get it with each of the function modes. And I'm running the internal timer set to 2 seconds to reduce camera vibration from me pressing the shutter button. I'm going to shoot it in the little circular prismatic, and then I'm going to shoot it in the split divider, and then I'm going to shoot it in the color. And I'm going to do it without zooming in on the knife, and then I'm going to do it with zooming on the knife. I believe honestly what you're going to see is when I zoom in, I'm able to get a more fine view of the subject, and that's going to allow me to get closer focus on all 3 modes. What I'm curious to see is if in general shooting with a manual lens, if I can actually achieve a reasonable level of focus with each of these modes, you know, and get a pretty good hit rate. So I may even try to do it handheld some, but the light's pretty low because of the overcast skies, and because of that, you know, I'm shooting, let's see here, the shutter speed is 1/30th of a second, and there's no stabilization on this lens, so, you know, a handshake's going to dope the results. So with that, let's get this started. Something I've learned about this camera is in split prism mode, or split modes, what they're calling it in manual focus assist, is that you get to, when it gets to focus plane, it creates almost a dazzling effect that you can tell what's in focus. And I don't know if it has to do with how sharp it's trying to render the image, or if it has more to do with a function they've built into that prismatic section of the display. But through the EVF and the display on the back, you can see it. And I'm going to try to show it to you on here. I've got it kind of set up here so I can see if I can get it to display it on the trees over here, so you can kind of see the effect I'm talking about. But it's really neat that you can see when it's in focus. It actually has, instead of just lines lining up, once they hit that central plane, it'll start to twinkle almost. So all of that to say that these focus modes work really well. They work better than I anticipated, to be honest with you. I actually, when I first got the camera, messed around with the prismatic one a little bit and couldn't get it to do like I thought it should. And I went to the color peaking mode and I just used it. The yellow shows up real good for me, so I just went ahead and used the yellow and just ran with it. But I noticed that I'll miss focus a pretty good bit with the yellow peaking. I see what I'm seeing in the peaking and what the camera is actually putting in focus. Typically I'll back focus. So that's what provoked me to explore the other modes a little more and to see how well they work. Now, do they work as good as autofocus? No. The Fuji autofocus is incredible. But if you don't have that choice because you're running old glass, it's manual or whatever, this does work. It gives you some good functionality. So if you have the X-T3, I would implore you to attempt to use these focus modes. I really like the one with the horizontal bars. I don't remember what they call that one. The prismatic one works good, but the horizontal bar one works really well for me. I don't know, it's just 4 bars and they shift in and out of focus like this. And when they land on it and you see that little bit of dazzling, it's pretty spot on. So with that, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and I would just request that if you like my videos, give them a thumbs up. And if you like my channel, consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it. And until next time, I'll see y'all later.